Mayad nga agahon, coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan in the Philippines. I just woke up a little while ago and I figure I'll do the live stream early today. I just like to change it up, it's like a go with the flow kind of thing. Um, I'm having my morning cup of coffee here. I really need it to get started. I actually went to bed early last night. That's why I woke up a little early today. Went to bed around 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Last night. My coffee with Gino cup, my Copico Blanca. Copico Blanca is 3-in-1 coffee here. It's coffee, cream, and sugar, powder form. You just put it in your cup, put hot water, and you have a nice cup of coffee. My coffee, it cost me about 7 pesos each. I get my Copico Blanca 10 sachets for 70 pesos. So that's about, 7 pesos each and about $1.50 for 10 cups of coffee. Kevin Shores. Hey, Kevin. Good morning. Good morning. I know I'm a little bit early today, just trying to change up. I figure I'll do it early. That way, when I take Leanna to school at 7, once I come home, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I don't have to do a live stream at like 7:30. And I think I'm gonna start doing the live streams. I think I'll start doing them every other day instead of I was doing it almost every day, and it was taking a lot of my time, the live stream, because the live streams usually last about 2 hours, and I'm not able to produce. I just noticed I'm not able to produce videos that I have to research and then I have to film and then edit. So I'm gonna try to do the live streams every other day, and now I'm just releasing videos now every other day also. I'm just trying to ease the load. It's like I don't want, like I said before, it's like I don't want YouTube to feel like work for me. Ooh, I got my light here. This light right here, Dazzle got me this light. We were in Boracay, this was Dazzle's gift to me, so I could use it like since it's still dark outside. It's still dark outside. Let me do the weather. I always do the weather report. Vegas Will calls me Mr. Weatherman. As of 3 a.m. today, there's a low pressure area west of Sangley Point in Cavite. I got my friends in Cavite, Fortune and Michael C. They're gonna be looking like, or they're gonna be getting some rain in the Cavite area. And then, of course, the habagat season, the monsoon season here in the Philippines. Monsoon habagat will last probably until like late October. We're gonna still be having habagat. Cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms for Ilocos region, northern Luzon, Zambales, Bataan, Tarlac, Pampanga, Isabela. So most of Luzon is gonna get some rain today because of the low pressure area. Here in the Visayas, we did get rain last night. It was raining hard actually last night, but it's our usual habagat. Habagat, we get monsoon rains here in the Visayas region. And then also Mindanao is the same, habagat. The only people affected by the low pressure area is in Luzon. Hi, Kevin Streeter. All right. Hello, Kevin. Thank you for joining the live stream this morning. And today, I usually come up with a topic to discuss, so it's not just like a live stream that, it's like you can ask me any questions. That's what the live streams are all about. That's why I keep doing it. People ask me questions, interested about life here in the Philippines. But today, my topic, I'm going to be talking about cost of living. I just came out with a video last night. I always schedule our videos to come out like midnight Philippines time. I'm not actually awake at midnight. YouTube has a feature that allows me to release the videos at midnight. So that's why our videos they all come out midnight, and I'm doing them now like again every other day. And the topic of my video last night was at midnight anyway, was our budget, our monthly budget here in the Philippines. Before, when it was just Dazzle and I living in this tiny home, we have a tiny house. Our house is only 430 square foot. That's the interior of the house. We do have a lot, but just the inside of the house is 420 square foot. And before, when it was just Dazzle and I think when we started YouTube in 2022, our budget was like 700 a month, and it went up to like 800 a month. And then 2 years ago, Leanna moved in with us, so that increased our budget because that's a third person, and now to like $1,000 a month. Now there's four of us. We're now a family of four. Dazzle's mom, I call her mom. My mother-in-law, she's with us now, Leanna, Dazzle, and I. So we're a family of four now. And our budget now is $1,200 a month. And I do know people always tell me this, well, your budget's low because you're Filipino. And that's true. I'm not going to argue with that. I'm Filipino citizen, but I'm also an American citizen. Before I retired here in the Philippines when I was 45, I lived in the United States for over 30 years, so I've split my life now between the Philippines and the United States. And it is, I have a lower budget than most expats, Americans, Canadians that I see here because I eat Filipino food. When we cook in our house, we cook one meal for everybody. I know a lot of people, a lot of my foreigner friends, a lot of times what happens with them is their Filipina will cook like Filipino food and they cook their Western food. So that, of course your budget's going to be higher because you're cooking two different meals for dinner or lunch, so I understand that. But I do also know that there's a lot of foreigners here that eat a lot of Filipino food. It's like my friend James from James and Karen's Adventure. I don't think there's a Filipino food that he doesn't eat. It's like when I hang out with him, he's eating pancit, he's eating lumpia, he's eating seafood, fish, taro, he's eating sweet potato. I mean, he's eating everything that I eat. So I know he is saving money. I know, and like his friend Michael, he's in James right now. He's in Masbate, and I'm watching the videos that James and Michael are putting out on their live stream, and I'm watching them. They're eating Filipino food. So you do save money, if you come here and start eating Filipino food. But I do understand not all foreigners will eat Filipino food. I know, when you're an American, for example, you're eating steak and potatoes all your life, and you move to the Philippines. That's a hard move from like steak and potatoes to fish and rice. That's a big gap there, to start eating fish and rice. So understand. And that's why a lot of the times the cost for Americans that move here are higher because they shop at SNR. Like for me, I shop at SNR, but to me it's a luxury. I don't shop at SNR every month or every week. I might go to SNR once every 3 months, and I'll buy like things that that I miss. Like Hormel chili. I miss that, or bagels, or Philadelphia cream cheese. There's or mozzarella. There's just certain things that I do miss because I lived in the United States for so long. I do like eating American food, but for the most part, the American food, when I make it, I can make it cheaper because I know how to cook. And also, there's American food here, fast food, like McDonald's, Kenny Rogers Roasters. There are there are food here that you can eat that are American. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the cost of living because that's always a question that I get from a lot of people asking me, is it really cheap or is it really inexpensive to live here in the Philippines? And I can tell you this, the thing that makes a lot of people move to the Philippines is the housing. Housing cost is inexpensive. In our province anyway, I know I live in Aklan province. And here in our province, I have helped people move here to Aklan province in Calibo, in Boracay, different areas here in Aklan province. You save money here if you move here as far as housing. That will be one of the biggest savings that you will experience if you move here. I can give you an example. My friend Ruben, he's in California right now. He's vacationing. He's vacationing in California, but he moved here. He moved here to the Philippines in January, and I found him an apartment, a furnished studio apartment in Calibo. And let me just compute this because I can compute this early in my head. I don't want to give you the wrong number, but his rent for a furnished studio apartment, nice apartment, AC's got air conditioning. It's in a gated community actually. It's in Park Homes in Calibo, and his rent for his apartment is 8,000 pesos. $145 is his rent. And I just know in the United States, for any apartment, it doesn't matter. It could be like in the bad neighborhood in the United States. There is just not an apartment in the United States that is $145 a month. I lived there even when went to the United States back in the 80s, or 78 when I moved from Manila to Los Angeles. I don't think there was an apartment for $145 back then, especially now. I know it's in the thousands now if you're renting an apartment in Los Angeles. So that's the biggest savings that you'll get. Now, that's because you're going to be living here in Aklan province. If you like that Western lifestyle, there's BGC in Manila. That's where a lot of expats go. Your rent is not going to be $145. More likely, you're going to be in BGC. You're looking at $800 to $1,000 a month because that is Western living here in the Philippines. If you want Western living here in the Philippines, that would be BGC, Bonifacio Global City in Manila. But if you're coming here, like the people that seem to contact me that I end up helping here are the people that are on a budget. That's who contacts me because for me, if you have money, if you have a healthy pension, why move to the Philippines? Why move to a developing country? It's like if you have multiple pensions, military pension, disability, government pension, Social Security, there's no reason to move to the Philippines, in my opinion. It's like you have a better life in the United States. You have better medical care, better infrastructure, better everything. It's like the Philippines is still a developing country, so there's going to be major adjustments if you want to live here. And the people I've been helping, they're able to make that adjustment because a lot of times they don't have a choice. What I'm hearing from people now is their Social Security, if there's that is their only pension, it's just not enough in the U.S. That's what I'm hearing from people that are coming here that I'm helping. So that's the thing. You will save money here on rent, especially I just got a message from a friend of mine. I just posted that video on Facebook, and he commented me that the national average in the United States right now for Social Security is $1,900. Now, if you have $1,900 here in the Philippines and you're a single man, retired, Social Security, you will live well here. That is over 100,000 pesos here in the Philippines. And you can talk to anybody in the Philippines here, and they tell you if you're making 100,000 pesos a month, uh, that's like an insane amount of money for most Filipinos here. They're not gonna believe. That's why they think all Americans are rich. That's the impression that most Filipinos have, is all Americans are rich because you have that high Social Security. Just to give you an example, most people here, when they retire here in the Philippines, there is a Philippine Social Security system because it's tailored. The Americans introduced that when the Americans owned the Philippines. The Philippines was actually owned by the United States from 1898 to like our independence here in the Philippines after World War II, 1945, around that time when the Philippines declared its independence. So the people here that I know, they might get something from Social Security, but it's not $1,900. They're lucky to get like 1,000 pesos, $18 a month on Social Security here. Social Security here is just like very minimum, unless you pay into it. It's the same here. If you're like a lot of overseas Filipino workers that I know, they pay heavy into their Social Security because they're working hard right now. They're paying heavy to it. When they figure when they retire at 60 is the retirement age here in the Philippines, they can collect more when they're 60. But for cost of living, that is where you're gonna get your savings here, is housing. And the other thing that you'll get savings here, like for me, that's why I enjoy living here in the province, is the cost of living as far as cost of fruits and vegetables. I get to save here again because I eat Filipino food. I eat the Filipino vegetables here. I eat bitter melon. That's called ampalaya. That's called. I eat kangkong. That's water spinach, cabbage. There's plenty of vegetables here. But I do know Americans. Americans are particular with their vegetables. Certain vegetables are more expensive here just because they don't grow well here. That's why people, I even hear this from some people. Oh, it's expensive. Vegetables are expensive in the Philippines. It is because it's the vegetables that you eat. Like, I give you an example. Like broccoli. Broccoli is expensive here in our province, more than it would cost in the United States. Potatoes are more expensive here than in the United States because it doesn't grow well here, not as well as the potatoes, the large potatoes in the U.S., or the broccoli, big head broccoli. If I buy a broccoli here, it's usually the stem and a little bulb at the top. It's like a tiny broccoli because the weather here, we're a tropical nation here, and some vegetables don't grow well, like berries. Berries are not common in the Philippines. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberry, you name it, any berry that you can think of, they are expensive here. A little tub of strawberry here will cost you like $6 here because they don't grow here. They grow maybe in Baguio City or the colder mountainous areas, but the Philippines is tropical. Berries just don't grow well here. That's why some people will say, well, it's expensive. Because I just noticed a lot of people that criticize the Philippines as far as cost, they focus on their American things that they know. The steak. Yes, steak costs expensive here because they got to be imported from Australia. That's why I don't no longer eat steak. I ate steak in the United States, but when I moved here, I realized steak is expensive here. So I just changed to fish. I just changed to like chicken, because it's cheaper here. And I was coming here on my military pension alone. I knew I had to budget in order for me to retire and have a nice retirement. I chose to retire young. I was 45 years old when I retired. My choice. I just wanted to live my life. I didn't want to like work for the man, work for the man and have a boss. It's like I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to own my time. That's why I retired early and retired really well. It's like the last 14 years here, I've enjoyed my retirement here. I never struggled with money here. Just my military pension alone, one pension, I've been able to live a comfortable life here, save a portion of my pension every month. Been doing it now for 14 years, so I think I've got a handle on it, money wise and living here. And then I'm only 3 years away now, less than 3 years away now. I'm 59 now. I will be 62 in 3 years, and I'll collect my Social Security from the United States, another pension that I'll receive. So that will significantly improve our lives here once I get my Social Security. And then, like I noticed lately, even the gasoline prices have gone down. I don't know if gasoline prices have gone down in your country, in the United States or Canada, but I've noticed significantly gone down here, the gasoline price. I remember during the pandemic, gasoline prices here in our province, it went up to like 80 pesos per liter. Now I just put gasoline on my car the other day and I paid 55 pesos per liter. That's like 25 pesos less per liter on the gasoline. Really had gone down. So I know when gas prices go down here in the Philippines, everything, inflation is not bad when that happens. It's like, I know like another, like eggs here. I can get jumbo size eggs here because eggs seem to be like here like expensive now in the US. Like here I can get a dozen jumbo eggs, largest eggs they have. I pay 10 pesos each. So it's 120 pesos for a dozen eggs. That is about $2 for a dozen eggs, fresh eggs, because here they got so many of them. You can just get fresh eggs here. They're everywhere in the public market, in the sari-sari store, in the groceries. So common here. That's why, for me, if you're looking for a place, low cost of living, low housing costs, I've always recommend our province of Aklan. I actually have a few people arriving next month and the following month. So September, I have 2 people moving to Kalibo, and in October, I have 2 people moving. So the next 2 months, I have 4 people that I'm going to be assisting moving in Kalibo, Aklan. Kalibo is the capital of Aklan province. It's not even a city. Kalibo's not a city. It's just a town, a bigger town. Our town here in Numancia, we have about 30,000 people living in Numancia, but Kalibo's got over 100,000. So, but our whole province, there's only 17 towns in our province, or they call it here municipalities here. And the population of our entire province is a little over 500,000 people, 500,000 people. With all the space here, it's just like we don't have traffic. Maybe in Kalibo, some during rush hours, you will feel like so many tricycles. But once you're outside of Kalibo, Aklan province is just wide open spaces. A lot of rice fields, farms, on the coastline, mostly coastline, beach area, just not crowded at all. That's why when people move here, I noticed a lot of people just like it and end up staying. We also have Boracay Island as part of our province, Aklan province. Boracay belongs to that municipality of Malay, one of the towns here in Aklan province. many expats live in Boracay Island. They have a population now in Boracay of about 30,000 people living on Boracay Island. Condominiums are built there now. There's like New Coast Boracay. I think they have 5 or 6 condominiums. So other condominiums are also being built in Boracay. So I know people are moving here to Aklan province. And then a lot of the savings that a lot of people don't realize, like for me, I see the savings, I just see the savings here. It's like vehicle insurance. Like my vehicle insurance, I bought in 2018, I bought a brand new 2019 Toyota Wigo. Um, Nice car, nice economical car. Paid like 640,000 pesos cash. I paid cash for the car. The car was like maybe $12,000 at the time, 11, $12,000, depending on the exchange rate. I don't recall what the exchange rate is back then. But just to show you how cheaper it is here, when I bought that brand new vehicle, brand new car, 2019, in 2018 when I bought it, my insurance for the car, full coverage on the 11, $12,000 car, I was paying. I remember, I'll do the math here on my calculator because again, it's early. my brain is not functioning as fast as it should yet. I paid 14,000 pesos a year on full coverage insurance. So divided that by 12. So I was paying 1,166 pesos a month on full coverage on the brand new vehicle here. That is with the $20 a month on car insurance. I don't think you can even get that in the United States now. Even for liability insurance, I don't think you can get $20 a month on full coverage. That is some of the things like hidden costs of living here that we get to save here. Here, I do not have cable TV. Never needed it. I can get it if I wanted to, and I can get cable TV here for maybe $10 a month. That's all. That's it. If I wanted it, but I don't even need it because we have internet. Our internet. I have fiber optic internet through Calibo cable. 100 Mbps, good internet because I can upload, download videos. I can do live streams like this. I pay 1,400 pesos a month. I pay $25 a month for good internet. Most of the people I talk to in the US now, $25 won't get you much. For sure, won't get you internet. And that is the only expense that I have here as far as like, since we don't have cable TV, the only other expense we have for entertainment is Netflix. And even our Netflix here, it costs us 459 pesos for Netflix, about $8, $9 a month for multiple users. Dazzle, Leanne, and Mom, they could be watching right now on our flat screen TV. I can be upstairs on my laptop, on my phone, watching. We can be all watching Netflix, and it costs us $8 or $9 a month. And I know things like that just cost more in the US. Those are kind of like the hidden costs, like that you get to save here when you're here. Like I know for Bumblebee, I call Bumblebee our tricycle. We have a tricycle because we use that just for in town, like here in Numancia, because I can fill up Bumblebee, the motorbike. It's a 125cc Yamaha MiOi on our tricycle. I can fill that up for like $3, $4, full tank, and it can last like a week and a half. Saves me money on gas. The car, basically, I just use the car when it rains. I like to drive the car rather than the tricycle when it rains. And then when we drive like to Iloilo City or to Rojas City. There's just a lot of things that I noticed that you get to save here. Even like our property insurance, I do have to carry like mortgage insurance because I got this house. We bought this house on a 15-year loan. We got less than 5 years left on the loan on this house. Banco de Oro is where we got the loan. So I do have to carry mortgage insurance. And our mortgage insurance, remember just paying it last May, it's 6,000 pesos a month. So that's only 500. That's only like $9 for a mortgage insurance. And I have to carry the mortgage insurance because the bank requires it. What happens is if I die, the house is paid off. The bank gets paid. The insurance pays it. So whatever I'll have left that I owe on this house, Dazzle will be free and clear. She will no longer have to make mortgage payments. And that mortgage insurance actually drops every year. Because here in the Philippines, that's another dynamic that you don't see in the US. When the value of the house or the value of what I owe on the house decreases, the payment also decreases. Same thing with insurance. When I started with my car, it was 14,000 a year, 14,000 pesos a year. Now I'm down to like half, because the car is no longer worth 640,000 pesos, no longer worth 11 or $12,000. So they base your insurance here, your full coverage insurance, based on the value of your car, and they depreciate your car every year. So now we've owned that car now for 7 years. Probably worth half. I would say probably half of what it's worth. Like, it's no longer 640,000 pesos. It's probably worth maybe 350 peso, 350,000 pesos. So my insurance has dropped to like 7,000 pesos a month. Full coverage. This is not like liability insurance. So for my full coverage, I pay 7,000 divided by 12. So my monthly payment for my car insurance, full coverage, is $10 a month. Those are like the hidden savings that people don't realize. That's why I do the videos. That's why I do the budget videos. I do this cost of living live stream to explain it, that, because people are amazed, like, how can you live on 1,200 family of four? Or how can you live for $1,000 a month in the Philippines? And that's what these videos are for. This is what these live streams are for. It's doable because a lot of things in the United States are just more expensive, and they continue to climb. I hear it from my good friend Daniel in Jacksonville, Florida. Raymond, he just like messaged me. He says he's got a 1999 Ford Explorer, I think. He used to pay $53 a month insurance. Now he's close to $100 a month on insurance. Things in the US, I know, nothing insurance-wise in the US drops, right? Everything always goes up because I lived there. I lived in the United States, and I saw that. It continues to climb, even when I was living in the United States. You would never hear insurance, car insurance and the vehicle insurance tell you, oh, your insurance rates dropped. I'm like, you would be shocked. Maybe one time in my life, my insurance rate dropped when I was 25. That was a big number. You turn 25 and they give you a break because I guess they figure you're an adult now at 25. And I did notice a slight drop on my insurance. But after that, everything, maybe when you get married, you get a slight discount. But most of the time, everybody's insurance in the United States just keeps skyrocketing. And another thing, I mentioned this on a comment. Somebody had asked me about property insurance. How do I pay property insurance? Can you pay by GCash? Well, here in the Philippines, since I do not own the house there, this house right here, I do not have a title to this house. The title on this house belongs to Banco de Oro, where I'm paying my mortgage. So I am not required to pay property tax. I know that's like in the US, the minute you buy a house, even though your house is on loan, you have to pay property tax, right? Here in the Philippines, I do not have to pay property tax until I finish paying the bank. The title gets turned over to me. The title on the lot here, the house and lot becomes mine. I'm the holder of the title. Then I have to pay property insurance at Numancia, our town. And the property insurances here, the property tax, I mean, it's not even nowhere near what property taxes are in the United States. Because here, we live in a small town. I know the reason why property tax is expensive in the United States, because the property tax pays for like education, like the school district, the police, parks, probably sanitation, garbage. A lot of things come out of your property tax. Here in the Philippines, it doesn't work like that. The school system, like where Liana goes to school, Numancia Integrated School, is a public school. It's funded by the national government, the Department of Education. It does not come from like the town of Numancia. Numancia doesn't have a lot of budget. They could not afford to pay for it. Maybe that's why the services, are lacking. I'm not gonna lie. It's like if you live outside. We live in a gated community, so I pay HOA. I have HOA, Homeowners Association fee. My Homeowners Association fee is 400 pesos a month. $7 is what I pay for Homeowners Association. That pays for our security guards here, our gardeners, and our trash pickup. For me, it's a bargain, right? And it's like, I lived in the United States before, like I said, and I know I've never paid less than $100 on HOA fees in the United States. So another savings, there's just so many savings here, so many things that you would save on cost of living. That's why a lot of Americans, especially the ones that are struggling on Social Security in the United States, they're reaching out to me and asking me, hey, can I move there? Can you help me move there? And I do, I offer my services. I never charge anyone. I'm not one of those YouTubers that will charge you like a consultation fee. I don't do that. I just like to help. I'm United States Air Force retired, 20 years active duty. I served my country in the United States. So I've always had that service feeling in me, I just want to serve others, I don't want anything back, in return. I'm just happy when I see a expat or a fellow American come here to the Philippines and live a successful life. When I see my friends, when I see them and they're smiling, they're having a good time in the Philippines, they're thanking me, hey Gino, thank you for the help, man. Thank you, brother, for your assistance. That's enough payment for me. That's my payment, When I see a happy person and I know that person's gonna be my brother, it's like especially for my vets, especially for like military veterans, military retirees. I have a special place in my heart for military veterans and military retirees because I served 20 years in the United States Air Force. So I know the hardships that we had to put up with. And we're brothers, we're comrades in arms, we're brothers, we're sisters. It's like I do anything for my veteran comrades. I'm trying to think anything more as far as like the cost of living. That's about all I can think. It's starting to get light here, so now it's not so dark here. Liana, I'll be waking her up here soon, about 6 o'clock, so she can start getting ready for school. All right, I'm gonna go through the comments here now. Kevin Streeter, we Kevins. All right, Rodrigo Paulista. Like. 04. Okay, number 4, like. All right, Rodrigo. That is cool. That is cool, brother. Hi, can you read my chat? Ryan. Yes, Ryan, I can read your chat, my friend. Rodrigo Paulista. Hi, I am from Sao Paulo. I never made all my travels. I was in the military, so I traveled a lot during my military career. Japan, Korea, Philippines. I traveled mostly in the Pacific. I didn't get to travel much in Central America. I did go to Cancun, Mexico, that area for vacation, but that was as far as I got regarding South America. I would have loved to have gone to Brazil. Oh, let me turn off the light here and see if it's too messing up my glasses here. Yeah, there you go. I can see you guys now. I don't need the light anymore. Earlier I did because it was still dark here at 5 a.m. when I woke up. Now I'm getting light here. There's more light here now. Rosalinda Garcia said hi. Hey, hello, hello. Hello, Rosalinda. Good day, Gino, James. I'm nearsighted, so I'm like, when I have my glasses, sometimes I have a hard time reading. James Crabill. Good day, my friend. Good day, my friend. GT, yeah, what state and county were you born in? I was actually born here in the Philippines. I was born in Tondo, Manila. One of the roughest, one of the roughest places here in the Philippines, in Manila. I then moved to Quezon City when I was like around 5. Then I moved to the United States when I was 12 years old. And then when I was 17, I joined the United States Air Force when I was 17 and got my citizenship. When we moved to the United States, I got a green card when I moved to the United States. But in order for me to get my United States citizenship, I joined the military. My recruiter, I had a recruiter when I was in high school, went to our school, Air Force recruiter told me, hey, join the military, you'll become a citizen. Sure enough, I became a United States citizen, and thankful for that. Thankful. I mean, I will always be grateful for my life in the United States. I mean, gave me the opportunities that I would never have gotten here in the Philippines. I earned my military pension after serving 20 years in the United States Air Force active duty. I was 37 years old when I retired from the United States Air Force. And since then, that's almost 22 years now. I'm 59. It'll be 22 years come March next year. I've been collecting a pension. I mean, I'll always be grateful for that pension because I would have never been able to retire here in the Philippines early. I retired here when I was 45 years old and never had to work. It's like the last 14 years here. I can afford to live here retired. I've enjoyed the life here because of my service in the United States military. So grateful for my life in the US. I got that opportunity to go to America, work, earn my pension, and then retire back to the Philippines. I'm a citizen of both countries. I'm still an American citizen, and I'm also now a citizen of the Philippines. That's why I'm able to stay here as long as I want. Haven't been back to the U.S. I really no reason for me to go back. We do plan when I turn 62, when I get my Social Security, plan on taking Dazzle, my wife, to the United States just to visit. We wanted to do that van life, like rent a van and then just travel like Arizona, California, Nevada, Texas, and visit friends and family because I still have friends and family in the United States. A lot of my family, though, they come here to the Philippines. So I do miss them, but I get to see them, so it's not like, it's not big for me to go back to the US because my relatives that I want to visit in the US, they're busy anyway. It's like the life in the US, people are working, people have limited time off. Most of my relatives, they're still working. They only get maybe 2 weeks a year on vacation. So if I go to their place, they're not going to spend, I don't expect them to spend their 2 weeks vacation on me visiting them. You know, that's the only vacation they get. You know, why they spend it with me? So uh, I don't expect them to do that. That's why Dazzle and I, we wanted to do the van life. That way we can at least, just split to my cousins, my relatives, my sister in Texas. My sister comes here to the Philippines, so I'll see her again in January. Like I said, most of my relatives, they come here because I have the time. I'm retired. It's like if a relative of mine comes here, like my sister, I can spend the whole, however, whatever time she needs me to spend with her. It's like I can take her to Iloilo, to Roa City, to Boracay. We can do things together because I'm always free. I'm always available. That's not always the case with Americans that are still working. People's time in the US, it's like valuable to them, and understand because you don't get much vacation time, PTO, the paid time off. You don't get much paid time off in the US. Who is this? Oh, okay, all right. Let me just remove you. I'm okay, remove you, dude. I got you. You're gone. One, do you, Dazzle, the family covered by PhilHealth? Dazzle and I, we are covered with PhilHealth because I have my PhilHealth card. I got it upstairs. They actually, when you sign up for PhilHealth, Vaughn, you and your spouse, and if you have kids, they're all eligible for your PhilHealth. So if you're a Filipino citizen, your PhilHealth is 400 pesos a month, 4,800 pesos a year, less than $100 a year for your whole family on PhilHealth. If you're not a Filipino citizen, it's 17,000 pesos, less than $300. My friend Brian from Texas, he got that. His wife is Filipina. She's on the PhilHealth. So I think it's a good deal. I mean, PhilHealth is not a full-fledged insurance. It's not like TRICARE, but it's a discount. For me, it really paid off for me that I had PhilHealth. I was paying on PhilHealth since I got here. When I got my dual citizen, when I initially came here in 2011, I wasn't dual citizen. I applied for dual citizenship here. By the way, I recommend you do it in the U.S. if you can. Do your dual citizenship in the U.S. Pain in the butt to do it here in the Philippines. Just you have to go to Manila. There's a lot of people in the Bureau of Immigration. It's craziness in there. Do it in the U.S. You will thank me. You will thank me. Trust me. You will thank me. But when I got my Philippine citizenship in 2012, I was signed up for PhilHealth, and for many years, I was just, to me, it was like, man, it's less than $100 a year. I got the card. To me, what was that cost to me? To me, it was minimal. So I was paying it, and I was in, I wasn't really, I was healthy. I was never getting sick, so I hardly used my PhilHealth. But when I got diagnosed with cancer in 2023, I'm glad I had it because my radiation treatments alone at Medicus Cancer Institute, it was going to be over 500,000 pesos. So about at least $10,000 was my radiation treatments. And because I had PhilHealth, cut it in half. You get 50% discount on the radiation treatment. So it knocked it down to 250,000 pesos. So that was the amount of my share, which TRICARE covered 75%. So you can see like how it helped me. It went from 500,000 pesos to 250,000 pesos to my share of that 250,000 pesos. If I didn't have PhilHealth, I would have paid 25% of 500,000 just on my radiation treatment alone. So, and same thing with chemo treatments was the same. I'm glad I had it. I'm glad I had the PhilHealth card. And I think I answered answered your question regarding PhilHealth. I no longer have to pay PhilHealth because I'm PWD now. Once I got diagnosed with cancer, I'm person with disability here in the Philippines. I have to be reevaluated every 5 years. If you're PWD here, your card is good for 5 years. They have to check whether you're still PWD after 5 years. But next year, I become a senior. Senior citizen in the Philippines is 60 years old. And when you're 60, you no longer have to pay PhilHealth either. You're all, they are kind to senior citizens here in the Philippines. They treat them well, which they should. We should be treating our senior citizens good, right? It's like they earned it. When you're a senior citizen. But both PWD and senior citizen card only available to Filipino citizen. I get that question all the time. How can I get? I'm disabled in the United States. How do I get this PWD card? Or I'm a senior in the United States. I'm over 60. How do I get the card? Only for Filipino citizens. And I think you can understand that because it's a government program. Both are government program. It's the senior card and the PWD card. The Philippine government don't have a lot of budget. So they have to prioritize the Filipino citizens. If so, family covered by PhilHealth. If so, do you have premium payments? I don't know, Vaughn, what premium payments, but I discussed it already. There's only one payment. If you're Filipino citizen, it's 4,800 pesos a year. If you're not a Filipino citizen, if you're a foreigner, it's 17,000 pesos a year. And if you marry a Filipina, both are covered. And if you have kids under 18, they're also covered. So I've not heard of premium payments. I haven't heard that they have a premium category with. They might. I don't know. I've never asked. I've never asked PhilHealth whether they have a premium one. Said hi. All right. Morning all. Hey Frank. Hey Frank. Good morning. Frank and Phil. Frank and Phil in the Philippines. They have a YouTube channel. You should check out their YouTube channel. They live in Iloilo City. If you have questions about Iloilo City, they make videos of Iloilo City. Iloilo City to me is the best city in the Philippines. I've traveled the Philippines, Manila, lived in Manila when I was younger, Cebu City, Dumaguete City. I've seen many cities, Baguio City, you name it. And to me, Iloilo City is the best city in the Philippines. The cleanest city, one of the safest city, bike-friendly city, walkable city, actual sidewalks, actual brick sidewalks. You don't have to walk on the road. Like here in Calibo, unfortunately, sometimes there's roads here where you have to walk on the street where the vehicles are because there's vendors on the sidewalk. Sometimes there's motorbikes parked on the sidewalk. Sometimes tricycles parked on the sidewalk. It's like you can't walk on the sidewalk, so you have to end up walking in the street where the cars are and they're honking at you. So, but very walkable. You would enjoy. They got the Esplanade, the River Esplanade. They got Sunset Boulevard now. I mean, they just got so much nice development in Iloilo City. SNR is there. They're building a Landers. I just know more and more expats, Filipino Americans are moving to Iloilo City. First rate airport, domestic travel easy, international travel easy from Iloilo City. My favorite city if I had to live in a city in the Philippines, Iloilo City would be my choice. And I've said that many times. I've even done videos on that. Right? Cause you can't get younger girl like you have. That seems obvious. Cause you can't get younger girl. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, people, I know they make a big deal about that in the United States. And it's like I understand both cultures. Like I said, I lived half my life in America and I live half my life here in the Philippines. I know in the US, the age gap, the age gap relationship, that's a big deal to Americans. Like my wife Dazzle is 29 years younger than me. I'm 59. My wife is 30. In the US, people probably frown on that. Here in the Philippines, it's not that big a deal. Even Filipinos that I know here have age gap relationship, and it's not a big deal. Here in the Philippines, I think the culture here, as long as you're a good husband, a good provider for your kids, that's the priority of people here. It's not that they don't. There's not a stigma when it comes to age gap relationships, and it's not just expats marrying Filipinas. I see many. I have friends here, Filipinos, older Filipinos with younger Filipina that they're with, and it's not frowned upon here. Like I said, because here the main focus is, hey, if you're a good husband, you're a good father to the kids, you're able to support your family, nobody's gonna give you a hard time with that. And people here in the Philippines, uh, I think just because in the US, I don't know what it is, maybe Americans just have more time. Here in the Philippines, people are just trying to survive here. People are just trying to put food on the table here. They're not worried too much about age gap relationships. And I remember when I first moved here, even a relative of mine, when I started dating Dazzle when we were in college, Dazzle and I attended college, and of course he was in the U.S. I know he was saying LOL, something like that, just you're robbing the cradle, it's like. But for me, it's like I was 45 years old when I got here. I was fit. I was very active. I still am. I still walk. It's like I like to stay fit. I rode my mountain bike. I was a runner. I was a swimmer. It wasn't easy for me to meet like a same age, that was 45 also that like to do the things that I like. When I first got here, I was mountain biking in the mountains. I was snorkeling. I was hiking in the mountains. So I'm like, not many Filipinas age 45, unfortunately, would be doing those things here. It's like, there are some, of course, I'm not saying all, once they hit 40 here, they don't do that stuff, because there are some. But at the time, it's like most of the Filipinas that I was meeting that were my age, 45, were already married and had kids. My dating pool for my age wasn't that big. It's like, and then when I attended college, I really didn't plan on dating somebody I was attending college with at the time. But, stuff happens, love happens, it's like, and for me, it's like, I'm not going to worry about I'm never worried about what other people think about me anyway. So it doesn't bother me like when people tell me that, you know, I came here to meet a younger woman. That doesn't bother me, because to me, it's like we all do, I always tell people this, do you, it's like, don't let other people, influence what you would do with your life. Yeah, the main thing I do is like, I'm happy with my life. It's like, I do what I've always been kind of like, free spirit in that way. It's like I've always been like, retiring at 45. My family and friends in the US thought I was crazy, because here I was in the US, I had a house, I had a sports car, I had a nice job. I was working for St. Mary's Hospital in Tucson. I had a pension. I was vacationing in Cancun, vacation in Vegas. I had like the American dream, right? I was living the American dream. Why would I move to a third world, developing country like the Philippines, where infrastructure, so much hardships here to adjust here? Why would I did that? But for me, I just didn't feel fulfilled in the US. I had the material things. I had a little bit of money, not a lot. I had